And you clearly see the effect that your inner work has had on the way you have developed professionally, or professionally maybe, or develop your other part of your work.
Yeah, it's very clear to me that this commitment to my inner work really important. You know, the ability to just be quiet, to sit and hold things. I think intuitively, I'd always had an interest in teams. Even as a kid playing sports, you know, there were times when the team would be just amazing. And I think I'd always had that interest. And then as I started to get into the work in organizations, a lot of the work really came down to how a group of people could listen to each other, understand each other, really develop shared commitment, challenge each other, and yet build a strong foundation of respect. So I think I'd always been interested in that. And gradually I think I've come to understand that there is a quality of listening where the whole, a team, is listening to the team, is feeling what's going on in the whole group. And again, it's very hard to talk about these things, but it's not because they're abstract, it's because they're subtle. Whenever you see a great team, I mean, Mexicans love football. I'm sure people have seen a football team which all of a sudden went from here to here. And I think the exact same thing happens in music, it happens in theater, it happens whenever people have to do something together and there's something really challenging and ultimately an aesthetic, a collective awareness that has to develop. So I think that's been a lifelong journey to just keep deepening your understanding, but you can't understand that just intellectually. You have to learn how to be a participant in how a team hears or senses a team.
So how about, I mean, you in a process of systems transformation, you're committed about your own development, but how do you then bring others or motivate or inspire others to engage in that journey? Because that's, I think, the more difficult part.
It's really tricky. You're absolutely right. Because you can't really tell someone, well, you should be meditating an hour every day. I mean, that's probably not going to work very well. I think that the key is always helping a person see for themselves their own yearning for something. It could be just the ability to be quiet. It could be the ability to feel healthy in your body. It could be some aspiration, you know, but you realize that to accomplish this big goal together, I'm going to have to change. So I think it's just being present for people as they, one, connect with their real aspiration, what really matters to them, and then become more honest. Look at the gap in me relative to this. That's always where learning starts. It always has those two dimensions, you know, that aspiration and that honesty. And I think it's going to be a little different for everybody in terms of the particulars. But for each of us, that's when something in us opens.